Hey, what's up everyone? It's Bcaseyarts coming back to you with a new video. I'm doing a voiceover kind of style right now because I've been watching a lot of Binging with Babish and I absolutely love that channel, so I was quite inspired by it. And I'm going to be doing a time-lapse video as I'm answering some very common questions that I get as an artist. And to start off, the first question is, did you always want to be an artist? And the answer is yes, I always wanted to be an artist since I was 3 years old, and I was finger painting. Oh, I went to go get a cup of water in this clip. That is where I went. And there I am, and I spilled my cup again, and now I have to go get more water. But anyways, yeah, I always wanted to be an artist, but I never actually started taking it seriously until I was 13. And I was actually watching a lot of YouTube tutorials, and that's how I kind of taught myself how to paint. And then when I was 15, that's when I got my very first commission work, and I thought, wow, like I can actually do this, like I can be an artist and make a career out of it. So once I kind of hit this realization that like I can actually do this, in high school I decided to pursue art, and I really only took art courses. And then now I'm getting my bachelor's degree in visual arts with the honors program at Brock University, and I absolutely love it. Like, it's so much fun. I feel so at home in the studio, and in this video I'm actually working in the painting studio, and it is huge. Like, it's just a wonderful place to paint, and it's such a great atmosphere. The professors are amazing, and I highly recommend this school. And the next question is, what themes do you pursue? So I think it's no secret that I absolutely love landscapes, and I've been doing them since I was 13, and that's what started me off in art. So I've been just keep going with that kind of theme, but recently I've been adding in animals, different characters, eyeballs, grids, galaxies, as you can tell from my new and most recent series, I Spy Dreamland, which is just full of randomness, honestly. Because, like, in one painting, there's a rooster and an elephant, and they are in, like, what looks like the Ice Age. And another one is with whales and an eye in space. So lately, I've been getting a lot more experimental and kind of a little bit more wild, if you will, with my work. But yeah, I absolutely love kind of putting different concepts together just to create like a really whimsical, surrealist world. Okay, so the next question is the artistic life lonely? What do you do to counteract it? Okay, so the artistic life, it can be lonely, it can be, but because there is such a great community of artists like around me, I'm always surrounded by artists all the time, and especially my best friends, Terry and Caitlin. They're some of the most amazing artists I've ever met. They create beautiful works of art. I highly recommend going to check them out. I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, like, it's not really lonely. Like, if you choose to work alone in the studio, or if you want to work alone, like, in your bedroom, that's fine. But you always have access to any artists, and Art Battle is actually another great community event to meet other artists. So if you want to counteract it, and if you don't want to be lonely, like, you don't have to be at all. Like, there's so many people to connect with and get your work out there, so don't feel like you have to be lonely to be an artist, because that's a myth. Okay, so next question is, what do you like about your work or don't like? Okay, so one thing I like is I finally learned how to do mountains with a palette knife, because I've been watching Bob Ross for years and I've never learned the technique, and this year I've finally learned how to do it, and I'm super happy with how my mountains are turning out. And that's something that's very specific to this year, but overall I just like my style of landscapes, and it's something that I know very well, and I like how I do clouds, even though sometimes they look like crap, but yeah, that's okay. Not every cloud is a happy cloud. And one thing I don't like about my work is that it can sometimes be repetitive, because I'm stuck on an idea and it's like I can't get it out of my head until I paint it like a million times. So my work can be repetitive, but it's just because it's stuck in my head and I just can't get it out. So I have to paint it out of my system. And as you could tell, I'm repetitive in my speaking as well. But next question is, what makes you angry? One thing that makes me angry while I'm painting is when I have a blob of paint on my arm or something and I'm painting and I don't realize I'm getting like a blob of paint on my canvas, so then I have to grab my shirt and like try to wipe off the blob as fast as I possibly can. But for those few seconds until I get it off, it's quite stressful, and I'm just like, oh my god, why did I do that? So it's not that it's necessarily angry, it's just like, oh my god, why did I do that? Alright, now we are diving in deep. What research do you do? Oh, I'm sure my professors will love to hear this question. Basically, my kind of research is relentlessly watching YouTube videos and artists online to see how they paint, what their approach is, and what's the meaning behind their paintings. And that's something I'm constantly doing if I'm not watching Bob's Burgers or The Office on Netflix. Oh my god, there's a bug on my phone. What? Where did the bug go? Oh my god. I apologize for that. I could not find the bug, so it's just going to hang out with me in my room for the duration of its life if it's going to choose to stay here. But anyways, the next question is, how do you work? So my style of working is I like to start and finish a painting in the same day. And I know that's not always possible, especially with Brock, you're doing like large paintings for your term projects, which I absolutely love doing large paintings. I have no problem doing that. But I do like to work for long periods of time. So a studio course is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that's a good chunk of time to paint. But I'll often stay till like 9 p.m. just because it's like I like to paint a lot if I'm going to do a painting. So sometimes it's hard for me just to kind of like start and take breaks in between it. Just because it's like I like to work so diligently and I like to work for many hours on end. Which can honestly be a good or a bad thing. It's like if you like to work for a long period of time, go for it. Just make sure to take breaks and stretch. Even though I'm bad at that, make sure you do that because I don't want your backs to hurt. But my back hurts. But you know what? That's okay. So the next question is very, very, very common, especially when I tell people I want to be an artist, is what is your professional goal? Because apparently being an artist isn't financially stable, which is also a myth. But what I want to do is get my master's degree in visual arts and ultimately be a professor and own my own art gallery or studio on the side and teach workshops and display work because I think it's so much fun just to teach people how to paint, especially when they think they can't paint at all, and I teach them how to do a landscape in a couple hours and they have so much fun doing it, and I absolutely love, love, love teaching. So you can actually go on my Instagram and see a couple of the lessons that I did, and yeah, that's what I want to do professionally, and I think it would be a wonderful life if I could do that. So I'm definitely going to do it for sure. Alright, now moving right along, the next question is, what role does the artist have in society? And I believe that art is a way for people to escape from reality as you're kind of viewing a new world that the artist has created for you as a viewer. A great YouTube channel to watch is Shots of Awe with Jason Silva. And one of his videos, The Creative Block and Imposter Syndrome, is a great video about what artists do in society and how they play an intricate role in everyday life and what we do in the media. So I believe that video can better answer that question for you guys. And that's also a video that I actually resonate with and I can relate to it so much, so definitely check out his channel because it's one of my favorite channels and it definitely inspires me to continue to do art. And so the next question is kind of a funny one. What's your scariest / most embarrassing moment as an artist? For me, that would be when I first started going to workshops and I was so scared and so shy that I just stared at the floor. Like I barely talked to anyone except for like one person I felt safe with, and yeah, it was embarrassing for me because it's like looking back at it, I wish I could talk more, but you know, I am who I am, and yeah, that was embarrassing. I just stared at the floor as the workshop is going on and I'm trying to learn. But yeah, that would be the most embarrassing. And the scariest is I had artwork stolen from me multiple times, especially in high school, because it's like, not gonna lie, I was kind of stupid. I left my work out and I didn't bring it home with me sometimes. So yeah, it's kind of my fault. I asked for it, but yeah, there you go. That is the honest truth. Okay, so I got these questions from Arts Culture, Questions for Artists, and they asked a lot of detailed questions for artists that I think are really handy because as we work, we are mostly focusing on what we're creating on the canvas, and the artist statement or artist kind of questionnaire comes in last, I find. So, yeah, this was a good video to do because it made me think of things that I probably haven't before or took the time to acknowledge before. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll be posting more on Instagram and making more time-lapse videos. So have a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas, and I will be back with a new video eventually. No guarantees, but I'll try. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching and be sure to subscribe to my channel.